an independence which they fought for. The independence were ones which were being negotiated, and this is the structures which were placed down way back in the 60s, specifically in the continent of Africa. And this goes way back when we talk about the 1884 to 1885 to 1923 to 1929, 1944 and 1945. All those structures had been placed by the United Nations in building a united bloc to overthrow Africa. And that is why if Africa is going to take a step forward, Africa needs to know where it has been held captive. It's at the level of the United Nations. You cannot expect the African member state to be sovereign when at the level of the United Nations they do not have veto power, when all other counterparts or Caucasian brothers and sisters have their veto power. So at that level you come to realize that we have been marginalized and we have been abused as far as democracy is concerned. And now you also realize that, like a doctor was trying to cite down certain things which are the cause of our problems in Africa. You have education, you have politics, you have economics, and then you have economy, and then you have religion. So these four structures were what have been instituted in Africa that Africans need to redefine if they are going to move forward. That simply means that we need Africans who have profound knowledge to teach the African children, to build a sense of awareness in Africa which is able to unite Africa. And then there's this other aspect of unity which I don't think that the president of Uganda is putting into consideration. Africa here, we are not only talking about Africa, because if you look at the way they divided Africa, they didn't divide Africa only as in member states. They divided Africans by Africans, Americans, Africans in the Caribbean. So we are talking of a huge chunk of Africans that are out of Africa. So we cannot be talking of Africa and the unity of Africa when these Africans are kept away with. So we need to build in policy structures, because the system which they are overthrowing us and they are what is killing us today in Africa is that the African head of states and the African member states have not learned to come together. They are not functioning as one unit. Why, if you notice with the West, they function as one unit, whereby France, for example, is like the EU, and the same France is like the United Nations, and the same France is like AU, and the same France is almost possessing the ECOWAS. That is the way they work. They work like hyenas. So they are together. And this, they understood that if they were ever going to overcome Africa and subject Africa to where it is as it is today, they will need to speak with one voice. They will need to act as one people. What explains the fact, for example, in a country of South Africa where you have 7.1% white minorities controlling almost 35 million Africans, which makes about 75% of that country's population. You don't see their presence, but you feel their structures. Their structures is heavily felt than their presence. So you come to realize that the white minorities are not the minorities we are seeing. It is the united front which stands behind that minority. What explains the fact that we are talking of Africa, and yet the future and the destiny of Africa is decided at the level of the EU, at the level of the United Nations, where Africa has no power at that level. That is Libya today, is being reborn at the level of Berlin Conference 2. That is Ethiopia, is being reborn by 3 other Western nations. So this is the way they have partitioned Africa separately, and they are dealing with each member state individually. And that's why you